His tailoring and his craftsmanship are really so unique. And I own a couple of dresses from his last collection, the Plato's Atlantis collection, which are specifically just works of art. And you feel scared to wear them, but then you also feel joy to wear them, because why should they just stay in a box? So for me, it's like wearing art, but it wasn't art, it's wearable. And I think that's where he really won, you know, rather than making something that just belongs in a museum. But you watch the film and you see what he created was so, I don't know if it happens anymore, because people now are on a 4-season year. They have to design so quickly, everything has to be produced so quickly. They are beating the likes of high street brands like Zara. It's different. So, you know, that real attention to detail and craftsmanship now, I think, it belongs in the realms of couture, whereas in his day it was quite in the world of ready-to-wear.
I mean, we really see in the film that, in many respects, he transcended fashion design.
Yeah. I really think he really was. I mean, I wonder what we class as artists these days anyway, but I would say for me a true creative visionary. And his ideas were unique, and the way that he created clothes was unique and designed them, but also the way that he presented them. And I think this is why the film has captivated so many people, is that in those days only a very small lucky few got to see his shows. And the way in which he presented fashion was so crazily avant-garde and shocking, and as he says, you know, I don't want you to come out feeling like you just had Sunday lunch. You know, I want you to feel something, otherwise I haven't done my job. And I think in those days, no one had mobile phones, so we're less immune to those images of the show because we haven't seen them. I mean, if you came to my house 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have made you sit down on YouTube and look at McQueen shows. You know, I was like, you've got to see this. But nowadays, we all see it because it's all on Instagram, everyone's filming it. It's lost its impact, whereas with him, it was double impact. So I think he really was a true performance artist in the way that he presented his work.
We see in the film the show where he had the robotic arms in that kind of dance with the model. I was fascinated by how he used models really as actors, it seemed to me. I mean, in a very, very different and unusual way.
Yes, I agree, and I think he did those models a great service because those models of those era became real characters. It was kind of post-supermodel Cindy Crawford, Christy Tellington world where they were just really beautiful and wholesome, and then he started this quite crazy world with Jodie Kidd, who's in the film, who was one of his key models. She was only 15, and she would say, we got her in the film, you know, she'll say he pushed us to our limits, and it wasn't just about wearing clothes, it was about reaching deep within and finding some crazy character, and he brought that out in people. He was something of an art director, a film director, in the way that he did bring out, as you say, this kind of dramatic edge on women. I do think some of the girls will say, you know, you'd come out from modelling in a McQueen show and it would take you a day or two to really decompress from this quite strange, crazy world you'd been put in, whereas the next designer would just say, just walk to the end and back, thanks. But I love that about him, and I think the film really represents that slight mad energy that I find fashion sort of lacks now. I've just come from the screening it at Soho House tonight as well for the members. I just did an introduction there, and people are fighting for seats. I've just left a sort of a fight in reception of people. Two guys are like, no, we've got to get in, and they're at full capacity with people sitting on the floor, and you can feel that energy is, you know, he's created that energy even now just in a screening room. So I hope the film will bring that energy back to a lot of people.